Hi, my name is Maktima, Duane, first name, last name Maktima. Uh, the work I do is contemporary Southwest type jewelry, and I base my work on the evolution of the old traditional works, which are shell jewelry forms, and this is indigenous to our people of the Southwest. And this is actually stuff that's been going on for thousands of years in the Southwest, trading with cultures near the oceans. Like this particular material is spiny oyster shell from the Baja California area, the Gulf of California. But I've evolved. I'm how would you say, as Native people are today, we have to be in the here and now, and so I've so to speak brought the level of jewelry to how would you say, using precious metals and inlaid stones from all over the world. So basically, it's the same format, but using other materials besides traditional shells, and these are all shell works. So, but I love I've been doing my work 40 years, 49 years. I'm going on my 49th year this year, and it's just something I just love and enjoy doing. I've been crafting all my life since I was 8 years old, probably. That's something in our culture that we do. It's just how would you say? It's a form of discipline, I guess, that you learn at a very young age to take care of yourself. That's the metaphor that the elders always used or told me, was not to be lazy, not to and to be productive in your life, be resourceful, and we as our culture, we go through many platforms in our lives. You're a child, you're a baby, and then you're a child, but it's that child era, that time span there, when you start becoming more inquisitive about things, and then that's around like maybe 9 or 10 years old, and you're initiated into levels of what would you say of that generation, in which you start learning the culture. So that's the discipline. That's the beginning of it, and you start coinciding the stories of our people. It starts to have some meaning, some sense. Where you're at that age, you start to develop, I guess, your sense of learning. And so I call my work singing my song, because a lot of our songs are reflective in our histories and our culture. So and so growing up doing this, when I was a young kid, I worked a lot with my grandfather, and he was always singing our traditional songs. And so that's kind of the way I grew up, and I love listening when I'm working to my native music, because I recorded a lot of it over the years, and I love singing when I'm working. So that's why I call it singing my song. Basically, when I'm doing this, it reminds me of either ceremonies or being among the elders, which, like today, they're desperately needed, and we live on our lives. Everybody knows this, that it's a perpetual life that we live on. Maybe in existence here on earth, we live for a while, then we go on in a spirit form to another place, but they're always with us. So that's why I sing my song, because I'm always inviting the ancestors to be with us. Well, this type of event, an international invitational, is quite an honor, especially for the caliber of work that I've achieved, the success I've had, the accolades I've achieved in my years of 49 years of doing what I've done. I'm academically trained in jewelry and fine art, actually, and I do also painting, sculpture. But jewelry has become something that I was known for, because I just had this passion for doing smaller. If you look at my work, it's like miniature sculpture. Everything has a finesse to it. It's very humble and very simple, but yet sophisticated. And so that's the way I look at my work. And so this type of show is really a really good platform for me to be in, because the audience is that type of audience that knows good art, has integrity. That's the whole thing. My work has a lot of integrity. And when I get the dialogue that happens between me and the people on your side, what happens, I think, is incredible. Is that they usually understand the integrity of of just life, and once they see or hear me talking about my work, the materials, and then the fact that I do everything myself, that brings a lot of it's a bond we start to create with the public. And I might, it's these kind of shows are great because it's a networking of things that are going to happen that are possible. And we've done other shows like this. These are rare now, these invitational art events. And I'm really applauding the promoter, Kevin O'Keefe, and his family. I talked to them yesterday, and I told them what an honor it was to be invited for this. And I just suggested, if it happens next year, I'd love to come back, because it's a long ways from where we live. And I have to travel, we have to drive because of the setup we have. But it's going to be worth it. I know it might take a few years, but to develop to where it's something that people look forward to. But those are the kind of things that it's something that all these artists, we're going to have to. I think everybody's in agreement so far that we're just really privileged to be here. It's an honor. It's really an honor to be among these great artists. There's just so many good, talented, creative people, singing their songs. And that's the way I see it, because talking to many of these artists, there's always this how would you say, internal, heartfelt, a spiritual thing that goes on, why and how they create. And we're all in agreement that it's something beyond us. It's something very spiritual, something that comes from the heart. So that's why I love being here, because all the artists I've met so far, we all feel the same way among ourselves, and that's the hope. That's what we convey to the public.